Day 2, folks. Took half an hour to get the anchor up. Weather's still beautiful. Got the line out, Mick's calling, he can wait. Boats turn around, don't see much getting caught though. Yeah, he's way out there. There he is. Like trailing in his Stavey craft. Breakfast of champions, folks. Look at the weather. Beautiful. Calliope Passage Anchorage, folks. He used to love this place. Spent many a day here cutting fish up in here. Up fish in the channel. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Cannon Bay. Used to anchor here in a southerly when the fish were biting in the channel. You couldn't anchor around the other side. Catching gar here back in 1989 when the kid's mother was first on the boat. Good anchorage. Never stopped here many times, but still nice. High on the hill there, you'll see the rock. Hence the name Cannon Bay. And as we steam round the corner here, you'll see these rocks that are open to one's imagination. What that one looks like, don't know, but it certainly looks like something. Electra head appearing in the background there. The next one behind this round rock, to me, looks like an elephant's head. But I'll leave that up to you to form your own opinion of what that may be. But it's amazing, the rock formations. The ones own mind to work out what it may look like to anybody. Go down into the bay, the freshwater spring over there in the corner. One thing the boat never had was a lot of water. Many times we'd be in there with 20 litre bottles replenishing our water supply. More fish in the bay. I better turn surely because there's a reef here somewhere, so I better be careful. I remember one time we were anchored down the sand. The fish were biting in the bay. The weather was like this. We were anchored up near the reef. We were cutting our fish up in about 15-18 feet of water. We were throwing our skeletons over the side. The tiger shark comes swimming through, and I swear its head at one side of the boat, the tail with the other, and the boat was 11'6" wide. There's that reef in there. Normally out off them palm trees from memory. We're getting back into the shallow water. I don't know if you can see the bottom of it. Dad never liked anchoring down in the corner. I said, let's go and anchor on the sand. Oh, rolls too much. Beautiful southerly anchorage, southwesterly anchorage. But that's about it. Swell, as you can see, rolls in here. So you hang beam on and you roll our arse out all night. Bit of trivia for you. Google Cannon Bay. Over off that rock over there, the Cannon Bay went up in Cyclone Althea, I think it was. And it sat there for a little while, and then an old bloke, Vic Allen, I think it was, burnt the bloody thing to get all the copper and brass out of it, and the engine still lays on the reef over there. So if you're ever wandering around over there and you see an engine block laying there, that's where it's from. Gregory and I used to drive our remote control cars on this beach. There's a creek over the back. We had our model boats. Mum used to get the shits with us because we wouldn't be out trailing, we'd be on the beach playing. You're out here to fish. Nah, Grandma, we're having fun. Fish aren't biting. We were catching little fish in there with our model trawlers. So. Anchor in the sand when the fish are biting in the bay and the weather's like this, but normally we're anchored up where we're going to head next. That there is Black Rock. We used to call it Black Rock. There's always a marker between there and North Palm, back up that way where we left this morning. And one day we're fishing in the bay, come across here and we got onto a patch of spotties. The spotties bit up here all day, between the morning and the afternoon trail. One of the most spotties I've ever caught in my life. Japanese mackerel, otherwise called. Heading up into here is the anchorage. Be there in a minute. Well, here we are. If ever anybody ever used to ask the question, where's old Jack? Old Jack's at the Palms. And this is where he used to anchor. We spent many a southeasterly, heavy blows in here. Good anchorage, probably one of the better ones on this island, on this side while you're fishing this way. The swell rolls around obviously, but it's always calm like this. Wind comes down through that bit of a valley there, but other than that it's nice. Over there you'll see a flat rock. On right there. When you're only young, you're on a boat with your mother and father and your nephew and your new girlfriend. There's things you can't do on a boat, so behind that rock you can imagine. If it wasn't there, it was down on the sand. So in there is a creek. There was a big hollow tree. The thing would have been about 40 feet high and it was about 3 feet round in the hollow. We used to throw rocks in it just for the fun of it, being bored. And one night Batman was with us. Me and Warren and Batman, I don't know whether Greg was here too, and we decided we'd go in there, we would light a fire in the bottom of the tree, and it was like a big chimney. We come back out onto the beach here and the flames were above the trees. It was one spectacular sight. So yeah, there's a little tiny hut in there. It was never back there in the 80s. I think some of the teachers built it. Another bit of trivia. Across the top of the bay there is actually a road. We're up here, Dad and I and Batman, we were garring, and we ended up round the, I think Graham Lamb was there too, because him and his son there. And we talked to the school teacher and he said, let's go for a drive to the dam. So we had this old forward drive. You go around the power station, around the dam and up this thing, and it takes you across the top of the island, the back of the bay there, and as you're going through the trees you can see down in the Northeast Bay, and it takes you up on the top of that hill over there. So there's actually a photo of me, Batman, Graham, I can't think of his son's name now, it'll come to me, but Warren and Batman walked to the other side of the island there one time. Why I don't know, but the things you do. Donnie Batman taught us, they say, let's go rolling rocks. What's this rolling rocks thing? So up there Climb to the top of them, you find a rock teetering on the edge or whatever you can push. And the sound that it used to make by the time it rolled down and got to the water was like bombs going off. So the things we did to keep busy. You can see, folks, why he lived to 99 friggin' years of age. He started fishing in the early 70s and he spent most of his life here. He fished through till he was 96. Sorry, till 1996 or 45 anyway, till he was 76, whatever that works out to be. So yeah, it wasn't a job, it was a lifestyle. So we do this here today to remember the old boy, you know, and he's turning on the weather for us. So now we'll burn around Electra Head. We'll do Hayman Rock next. Time to crack a beer. Or a bourbon, one of the two. Lost our tacker. Belt must be slipping. Up here in this little bay, there's a prawn trawler sitting on the bottom that was burnt by old mate Johnny Steele, who worked for him back in the 80s. He was renowned for sinking boats. Probably shouldn't say that, but anyway. Story goes, you come and anchored here, weather like this, everybody's decky, back into this here, working out here chasing king prawns. In the 80s there was trawlers here all the time when I was chasing red spot kings. You know, they burnt this bastard and it sat in the shallow water over here, and I was with Ox John Watson on the Marna. We hooked onto it, we towed it into the shallow water. So sitting on the edge of the reef over there is the gallows. David Amber will remember it because we actually seen it. Then Johnny Beaumont and his mates got a hold of it with the Winston and they towed it into the deeper water and took the propeller and stuff off of it. So it's just the keel, the bottom from the waterline down, 671 sitting in it and just laying in here. So yeah, I would like to find it again one day just to see what it looks like 35 years later. Cheers. Check what's wrong with that hole. Don't know what it may be. We come around Electra Head. White rock, albino rocks, always white rock in the to us in the distance. You'll see Hayman Rock up there on the tide. You can't hardly see it there. There it is, exposed at low water, underwater, at high water, there it is. Warren and Batman were up here with Loundy and Robbie Maslin many years ago. And a yacht come round the corner, hit this rock, come round the corner, they were anchored in the bay. I think that's how the story goes. And they let him down onto the sand, so, and they beached her on the sand, tide went out. They fixed the hole in this old mate's yacht and got him on his way. So, the things you do as a fisherman. You never ever let anybody remain in danger. on dark here on a walk. Right on dark. This side. Running down that side with the yard. And your paraplane. Big fish, Hayman Rock. Always renowned for big fish. And sharks sometimes. Yep. One of the many places that he loved to be. Well, this whole area really. You can see why. It was always good to come around Electra Head when you're hiding in the bay there. Be blowing us ass out for days you can't get out. And to see home in the distance, you know, that always, it was a good feeling. You know? Yeah. We'll move on next out to the Sunken Rock. And I'll tell you a story about that one. Over there off Southeast Cape, Tony and I will come back from Barber Island one day, and we come past Southeast Cape there. I caught a mackerel, and it's one of the biggest mackerel I've ever caught. Old Toby's dory was 16 foot long, 16 foot 6 I think, 5 foot 6 wide. The head was up one gunnel and the tail was up the other. Probably the biggest mackerel I've ever caught on my fishing years. And the only really big one. When we were kids, we used to go to the reef in the school holidays and we'd ride around in the front of the dory when it was flat calm. And you could see the mackerel swimming below us. And some of the biggest mackerel I've ever seen, the bloody things have been 5-6 foot long, so are they still there? Who knows? But as kids we seen them, and that day I believe I called them, we used to call them homers. Whether they lived there or not, I don't know. That's just what we used to call them. So round behind there, Southeast Cape, here's the Southeast Bay. Whenever we had a northwesterly up here, we would go and anchor in Southeast Bay. Mushroom coral, so you got to be careful your anchor doesn't wind up around the coral. Dad tells a story, used to tell a story I should say, all the time that his anchor chain got wound up around a coral because he was there for a few days. And he had all sorts of strife, trying to get it off, but he had to cut it. So whenever we went there, he always anchored out wide on the ledge, so that it didn't happen again. Appearing there is Barber Island. That will be our last stop on this little journey before we head back to the airport to meet old Nick tonight. Back in the days before GPS, we used to line up the southern edge of White Rock and West Point and put Fly Islet between Barber and Havana, and we'd end up on this here Sunken Rock. Dad in his wisdom some days when the weather was like this and the fish were biting at White Rock, we'd come and anchor the boat out here so we didn't have far to run over here to catch the fish. We didn't do it many times, but a couple of times. Caught a couple of bottom fish actually. Yeah, he was never adventurous. He always liked to stay anchored back in his little bay back there, and we'd troll out, troll on, pulling and pulling. Yeah. We get a few fish on it every now and again, not a lot. I remember coming up here with Warren one time in his boat, and we anchored here with Billy's and managed to pick up one or two. So. Anyway, burn over the White Rock Mountain. Albino, they say. Albino Rock. We've climbed that on a weather day like today. We anchored the dory in there, or tied the dory in there. We managed to get ashore and climb up to the top of the the lighthouse there and had a look around. Quite a good view, something you don't see too or aren't able to do too often. Always been an unmanned lighthouse, automatic. For many years in that gap there, this gap here, there was a timber speedboat, Cape Morton Lighthouse boat with that crane that there where that post is sticking up there. Picked it up, they found it come float across the bay, and it sat in there for since the early 70s, probably, and through for Yassi come washed it away. Timber speedboat, the arse out of it, sitting in that box. Now, look at this, Jesus, we come in by helicopter. Haven't times changed? Lifeboats in the 60s and 70s and 50s and God knows how long they back. The helicopters of today. Yeah. We got to do the customary lap around. Might get a fish down the other side. Look at that. They've even got a damn catwalk with handrails. Safety. Right? Folks, here we are, Chilcot. Dad was not a lover of Chilcot. He reckons always too many sharks, Chilcot, it's too many sharks. Having said that, he was normally right. Had some good trails here at Chilcot. Full moon, flood tide, right here where we are now, good trails. Dad would go home in the dark. We'd be still here in the dark. Come around the corner, where'd you get them? Ah, Chilcot. Oh, okay, good. He didn't care where we got them as long as we got them. There you go. Next stop, Barbara Island. Well folks, last stop of old Jack's Palms tour. His entrance tour. We missed the bay up there, Southeast Bay. They just anchored there as well when the fish were biting here at Barbara Island. July and August. He used to always catch big fish here at Barbara Island. He liked Barbara Island. It was just such a long steam. I'm not this bay around here, but it was good fish to be caught. Anyway, I said he stuffed 2 lots of weather up and he wouldn't stuff the third, so he's turned us on for us today. Couldn't ask for better. We were meant to go to Bramble this morning, but Mick had trouble with his boat, so I decided I would just visit and remember. These hats sitting there on the dashboard. Probably can't see it, but everyone. It's tough. Makes you want to cry. Brings a tear to your eye, but mate, you can see why. I won't say rest in peace because he was here the damn life. He was peaceful to the end. And I say rest easy, Jack. Rest easy, Dad. Everyone for watching. That way through the channel to the settlement to meet old Mick, and that's where we'll spend the night. Okay, cheers.